How about Nuggets Timberwolves?
Ooh, that one's really good because Denver is they're a very dangerous 3 seed, and Minnesota has got to be feeling kind of, we've been in the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years, and now we're the 6. They got to be going into it with something to prove. Um, and Anthony Edwards is just a game changer. He's a 50-piece waiting to happen, especially this time of year. And Denver, they'll guard you up to a certain extent, but they're not gonna overextend themselves defensively. They're just gonna outscore you. But with Jokic and Gordon and Jamal Murray, I think Denver is that pickle?
No, this is Relish.
Relish. Okay, all right. What's up, Relish?
Relish wants dinner. It's not time
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, with all three of those guys, because Gordon was out for so much this year, they didn't really get to be the Denver Nuggets they are without him. Um, so I mean Denver, I think Denver is just a notch below OKC and San Antonio, but it's not a very big notch, you know.
Yeah, I think Edwards is too beat up. I think Denver wins that one in 5. I think Denver is
Wow.
just. I think Denver's Minnesota is too beat up.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards is too beat up, and if he's not hit
yeah,
at his best, and Jokic is playing, it's all over.
yeah.
I'm going out on that limb. Uh, Producer Jeff wants to know if we think the Lakers have a chance against the Rockets. If LeBron has a chance against the Rockets.
No, no. I mean,
That's a dumb question.
I mean, I mean, look, it's LeBron James is great. He's one of all-time greats, and everything, But asking him to do this, I was talking to a guy the other day, and I'm like, okay, so after LeBron, who's your second option? Okay, Rui Hachimura. I know that's your guy, America's team. Okay, but at this point, he's not scaring anybody at this level in the playoffs. Mark Mart. I mean, Aiton. I mean, like what? They were so top heavy that without Doncic and Reeves, they had problems when those guys were on the team and just not on the floor. So now when they're not with the team at all, and you got to put it on a 41-year-old LeBron James. Now he's got a lot of pride and he's going to give it his absolute best shot. But come on. I mean, Houston has problems finishing games. That's been their Achilles heel, good part of the season. But LeBron makes Kevin Durant look like a spring chicken. Durant's what, 37?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they're not getting past Houston. That could be a gentleman's sweep. Yeah, that could be 5 games. LeBron will help them win one on pride. But it's just it's just really bad luck. That's all it is, just bad luck. Getting your 2 top scorers injured at the most critical point of the season. I just don't see a way for them offensively.
Yeah, and that is the problem with Houston also. Durant is their only go-to offensively. They haven't had a point guard of note all year, but it just seems that it's too much to ask. Now, Doncic, after going overseas because that's where the best medicine is for his hamstring, kind of reminds me when Alex Rodriguez did that way back when. He may come in with a Superman cape and run up and down the court like he's Michael Johnson, vintage Michael Johnson from way back when. And if that's the case, then we'd like to redo our answer, perhaps. But that seeing if that doesn't happen, yeah, I think Houston's kind of alley cats, man. They're nasty,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I don't know that
Reflection
the
of
Lakers
their coach.
Yeah, who's from Portland, by the way. Okay.
Oh, is it really? I've never seen him smile. Have you ever seen him smile?
No.
I've never seen him smile.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think I think Houston's the call right there.
He
Cavs
just
Raptors.
he just always looks like somebody just missed a defensive assignment that they went over 10 times in practice. He just always has this look that like, oh, you're gonna be running sprints as soon as we get out of here. You know what I mean? Like he just always has that ticked off look. Like you're looking as a player, you're looking over the bench, like, what I do now? Why is he looking at me like that?
Yeah. I see him as like the guy who's like, ooh man, I shouldn't have eaten that.
That could be it too.
Cavs Raptors. I mean, Cavs got your boy Harden.
Yeah, I think Cleveland. I think they're. I think that was one of their missing pieces. They needed a big guard who could help defensively, as well as provide some of the production offensively that Darius Garland gave them. Because Garland, look, he's little, and some of the bigger guards. I mean, when they played Portland, I saw Avdia trying to get switches to get on him. Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox would get the ball, and whichever one he went to in the switch, then they just went to the basket. They just drove to the basket. So I think they saw that as a real liability, keeping them from taking the next step. And I've said on this show before, James Harden, the perception of James Harden based on postseason results, I don't think is an accurate perception of who he is as a player. Seeing the work that he put in with the Clippers, seeing how he was, this 6-21 start that they turned into a 42-40 season, it was Harden holding the rope for a good part of that until he got traded. And if he were the guy that so many people perceive him as, it would have been very easy for him to just say, hey, we're 6-21, season's done, it's a wrap. Let me start working on getting out of here now. Before the trade deadline even occurs, okay? But he was a steadying force, and he put in the work. I mean, every time I was at the gym for practice, he was there putting in more work than anybody. Back one there, getting up extra shots. I mean, he's the perception of James Harden, I think, is wrong in a lot of ways. Now, look, after the game, he's living the LA lifestyle, and you can't blame him, you can't fault him for that, can't blame him for that. I mean, he likes being a star, okay? But at the same time, he puts in the necessary work that's made him the number 9 scorer in the history of the NBA. And you don't get there without being a hard worker. Talent alone doesn't get you there. That's a lot of hard work. And I think he's gonna reap some of the benefits of it in Cleveland. I think I'll pencil them to the second round, maybe even the conference finals, depending how things fall. But I think James Harden's going to get his well-deserved playoff flowers this year. I'm not saying a title,
And
but he's going to change perceptions.
NJ2AK, a couple comments. He says LeBron didn't have a chance last year, even with Luka. and then he said Harden is a magician. He always disappears in the playoffs.
No, okay.
So,
Hey, look, he's on a good team. They wanted him, went out and got him, traded a guy who was a big part of what they were doing to get him. And like I said, I think James Harden changes the narrative about him this postseason.
You changed my thoughts about James Harden just because of how much I respect your opinion, and you're no bullshitter. So when you said the kind of work he put in and all that, I'm like, okay, all right. He has not had the playoff run that he wants to have, but it's not because he hasn't done the work. It's just sometimes circumstances are what they are. Rory McIlroy couldn't win the McIlroy couldn't win the Masters forever. Didn't mean that he wasn't a great player.
Right. Phil Mickelson couldn't win a major for years and years and years. Okay. Alex Rodriguez can't deliver in the postseason until he did. Barry Bonds can't deliver in the postseason until he did. So sometimes, that's just kind of how it goes. Some guys Get there. Dan Marino got there his rookie year. Never went back.
Never got there again. Yeah.
It's just how sports plays out sometimes.
All right, Knicks Hawks. I'm reading a lot about the Knicks have chemistry issues, which is not a thing you want to have going into the playoffs. And the Hawks, if you're not educated on the Hawks, you're going to get educated on them because Atlanta is maybe a sleeper that New York doesn't better wake up for.
Yeah, got a lot of nice pieces. Dyson Daniels, very elite defender. Jalen Johnson's all around superstar.
Yeah.
Developing. I mean, CJ McCollum's been a great fit for them. Great addition for them. I mean, again, the adult in the room.
Yep.
Another young guy. So look, they got a lot. Nickeil Alexander-Walker's been one of the most improved players.
He might be the most improved player if Avia doesn't get it.
Right. Exactly. So look, Atlanta's pretty good. I don't know if they're ready yet. I don't know if they're battle tested enough to deliver this time of year when you got Towns and Anunoby and Bridges and
Brunson.
Brunson. I mean, you got guys who've been there, and I just don't know if Atlanta's ready to handle that yet, But I'll say it again. Something you said register with you when your best player is 6'1".
Yeah.
Even if he's Jalen Brunson, as tough as he is, as effective as he is, it's still a big man's game, and it's hard to get it done. They're the outliers, when you have, tremendous shooters. You have a guy like Allen Iverson, Isaiah Thomas, but those are once in a lifetime players. I mean, generation players. Now, is Brunson going to be that guy for this generation? We'll see, but I don't know. The Knicks just don't seem to be able to put it all together, and I think they're not getting past Boston. I don't know if they could get past Cleveland. I don't know if they can get past Detroit. I think they might be the fourth best team in the East. But we'll see. I mean, there are New Yorkers who will want to fight me for saying that. I'm sure.
All right, what's the watch party like tonight for the Clippers? Because I know you're watching it. You're in the Bahamas with your boys. Paint me a picture of how the watch party looks.
Well, everybody else gets here tomorrow, with the exception of one of my guys is here, and he's been texting me nonstop since we've been on the air. He's ready to get it going. So they told me that there's a sports bar right down the way. So now the thing is, though, it's Prime Video. So now are they going to be streaming? Because like some people have said that they've gone to bars and they're like, sorry, we're not showing it because it's streaming. But I also saw somebody said that they took their phone, logged on, and then hit AirPlay to the TV at a sports bar and watched it that way from their phone, broadcast onto the TV. So I would imagine if you're running a sports bar, you think ahead to the play-in tonight and you say, hey, we got to make sure we got it. So, let's make sure we got apps on. But if not, I'll be on the iPad. But I'm assuming it may be prudent to call over there and say, hey, look, you guys got Prime Video, right?